Did you know that right at this moment, you could be sharing your home with a true natural pharmacy without even realizing it? Sometimes the relief for a headache, the cure for stress, or the secret to deep rest is growing silently close to you, perhaps in a pot on your balcony, in your kitchen window, or hidden in the garden disguised as simple weeds. From ancient Egypt to classical Greece, humanity has relied on nature to heal the body and the mind. Today, we will recover that ancient wisdom. In this video, I will reveal 7 extraordinary plants that you probably already know, but whose medicinal power you ignored. We will discover their fascinating origin, how to care for them easily, the exact way to use them as home remedies, and the strategic place in your home to boost their energy. Get ready, because after this, you will never look at your plants the same way again. Our first protagonist is a true superstar of the plant world, aloe vera. To understand its power, we must travel back in time. Native to the Arabian Peninsula and North Africa, aloe vera has a history that seems straight out of a legendary tale. The ancient Egyptians called it the plant of immortality, and it was an essential element in the beauty rituals of queens like Cleopatra and Nefertiti. It is said that even Alexander the Great conquered an entire island just to secure aloe reserves to heal his wounded soldiers. Today, finding it is extremely easy. You can buy it at any local nursery, market, or most commonly, through a neighbor or family member. Aloe vera is incredibly generous and constantly produces small pups around it that you can separate and plant in a new pot. Caring for this plant is ideal for beginners because it thrives on what we call benign neglect. Being a succulent, its fleshy leaves store large amounts of water. This means its worst enemy is overwatering. You should only water it when the soil is completely dry, which can be once every 2 weeks. It needs a substrate with excellent drainage, similar to that of cacti, and it loves light, but prefers bright indirect sun, since the direct and scorching midday sun can burn its leaves, turning them brown. As for its uses, aloe vera is the king of domestic first aid. If you burn yourself cooking or spend too much time in the sun, simply cut a lower leaf, open it in half and apply the fresh, transparent gel directly to the skin. Its cooling and healing effect is almost instantaneous. However, there is a crucial secret you must know. Before using it, especially if you plan to consume it in juices to improve your digestion, you must leave the cut leaf resting vertically in a glass of water for a few hours. This serves to drain the aloin, a yellow and bitter sap that can be irritating to the skin and a laxative for the stomach. Once clean, you can extract the clear crystal and use it in facial masks, nutritious smoothies, or hair treatments. Finally, where should you place your aloe vera at home? From a practical point of view, the kitchen is the perfect place. Having it near the stove ensures a quick cure for minor culinary burns. From an energetic point of view, many cultures consider aloe a protective plant that absorbs negative energies. Therefore, placing it near the main front door or in the hallway of your house acts as a silent guardian, ensuring that only positive vibrations and abundance cross your threshold. Let's move on to our second plant, one that you have surely seen hundreds of times, and that, unfortunately, has an unfair reputation. We are talking about the dandelion, or Taraxacum officinale. Its history is fascinating. Native to Eurasia, this plant has been revered by herbalists for millennia. Its name comes from the Old French dent de lion, due to the toothed shape of its leaves. However, in the modern era, the obsession with perfectly green lawns has classified it as the #1 weed. But the reality is that this plant is a marvel of survival and medicine. Where do you find it? Literally everywhere. It grows in the cracks of sidewalks, in vacant lots, on the edges of roads, and of course, right in the middle of your garden. You don't need to go to a nursery to get it. It comes to you. Caring for a dandelion is an exercise in letting nature be. If you decide to cultivate it deliberately in a pot, its resilience will surprise you. It doesn't require special fertilizers or meticulous care. It only needs a deep pot, since it develops a very long and strong taproot, which in nature allows it to extract nutrients from deep within the soil, nutrients that other plants cannot reach. It likes full sun but tolerates partial shade. And as for watering, it survives with whatever the weather offers, although indoors you can water it moderately. What is truly amazing about the dandelion are its uses. It is edible and medicinal from root to flower. The young leaves, which are best harvested in spring before the plant flowers to prevent them from turning bitter, are excellent in salads. They are a powerful natural diuretic that helps cleanse the kidneys without depleting the body's potassium, as some medications do. The iconic bright yellow flower can be used to make a delicious vegan honey or syrup that soothes the throat, or even ointments for muscle aches. But the real treasure is underground, its root. Once washed, roasted, and ground, dandelion root has been used historically as a caffeine-free coffee substitute, and it is one of the best-known tonics to detoxify the liver and improve digestion. Where should you place it if you have it at home? If you have it in a pot, place it on your balcony, patio, or in a south-facing window where it receives direct light. Being a wild plant, it thrives best feeling the breeze and direct sun. On an energetic level, the dandelion is a symbol of resilience, hope, and wishes fulfilled. Who hasn't blown its white seeds to make a wish? Having it nearby reminds you of the unbreakable vital force of nature and your own ability to bloom no matter what crack or difficult circumstance you find yourself in. Our third guest is a robust, fragrant plant loaded with mythology, rosemary. Native to the rocky coasts of the Mediterranean Sea, its name comes from the Latin ros marinus, which means dew of the sea. In ancient Greece, students would weave sprigs of rosemary into their hair when studying for exams, because they believed it strengthened memory. And it turns out they were not entirely wrong. Modern science has shown that inhaling the scent of rosemary can improve concentration and cognitive performance. Finding rosemary is very simple. It is one of the most common aromatic plants in nurseries and supermarkets, and in hot, dry climates, you will often see it growing freely as a lush shrub in public parks and gardens. If you decide to bring a rosemary into your home, you must remember its Mediterranean roots. Its care can be summarized in 3 words: sun, sun, and sun. Rosemary loves direct light, so it needs at least 6 hours of sun a day to produce those aromatic essential oils we seek so much. As for the soil, it hates having wet feet. It requires poor, sandy soil with impeccable drainage. If you overwater it or put it in soil that retains a lot of moisture, its roots will rot quickly. Water it only when you feel the soil is completely dry to the touch. The versatility of its uses is impressive. In the culinary field, it is the perfect companion for roasted vegetables, potatoes, and artisan breads, providing an unmistakable pine flavor. But in natural home medicine, it is a titan. Boiling a few sprigs of rosemary in water creates a magical infusion for the hair. Using this, rosemary water, as a hair rinse strengthens the follicles, stimulates growth, and combats hair loss. Furthermore, you can macerate fresh rosemary in pharmacy alcohol for a couple of weeks to obtain rosemary alcohol, an incredibly effective traditional remedy to massage and relieve sore muscles or tired joints after a long day. To place your rosemary, always look for the sunniest window in your house, ideally facing south or east. The kitchen is a fantastic place if it has good light, to have it on hand when cooking. However, in terms of energy and feng shui, rosemary is considered a plant of fierce purification and protection. Placing a pot of rosemary in your office or study space will not only keep your mind sharp thanks to its aroma, but it will act as a barrier against mental fatigue and stagnant energies, keeping the environment fresh, active, and full of vitality. Our fourth medicinal plant is synonymous with calm and comfort: chamomile. Its appearance is deceptively simple, looking like happy little daisies with a bulging yellow center and white petals. Native to Europe and parts of Asia, chamomile has been valued since antiquity. The ancient Egyptians consecrated it to their sun god, Ra, due to its solar appearance and its powerful healing properties against fever. Finding it in its wild form is common in open fields, meadows, and cultivated lands. However, growing it at home is a beautiful process. Chamomile seeds are very inexpensive and germinate quite easily, making it an ideal plant to start from scratch in a pot. Unlike rosemary, chamomile likes slightly cooler conditions. It prefers moderate temperatures and soil that remains slightly moist, but without becoming waterlogged. You can plant it in a wide pot rather than a deep one, since its roots are shallow. It loves sunlight, but in very hot climates, it will appreciate a little shade during the most intense hours of the afternoon to prevent its delicate flowers from wilting prematurely. The medicinal use of chamomile is famous all over the world, its main application being in the form of an infusion. Harvesting the newly opened flowers and drying them in the shade will give you the base for the most relaxing tea you can taste. It is the universal grandmother's remedy for stomach aches, indigestion, and cramps due to its strong antispasmodic properties. In addition, a cup of chamomile before bed is a mild, natural sedative that fights insomnia and anxiety. But its uses go beyond drinking it. It is exceptionally kind to the skin. If you brew chamomile tea, let it cool and apply it with cotton pads over your eyes, you will reduce inflammation, dark circles, and soothe visual irritation caused by screens. It is also gentle enough to add to the bathwater of babies and toddlers to soothe skin irritations. As for its location in the home, the quintessential place for chamomile is the bedroom. If you have a window in your room that receives soft morning light, place your pot there. According to the philosophy of spaces, chamomile radiates a calming, purifying energy of inner peace. Its mere visual presence and its subtle sweet apple scent invite relaxation, helping to slow down the revs of a busy day and preparing the perfect environment for deep and restful sleep. Continuing our wellness journey, we arrive at a plant whose color and aroma are unmistakable: lavender. Its very name tells us its history. It comes from the Latin lavare, which means to wash. Native to the Mediterranean basin, the ancient Romans used it abundantly in their public baths to purify the water and perfume the body, recognizing its antiseptic properties ever since. Today, lavender is one of the most beloved ornamental and medicinal plants in the world. You can easily find it in any nursery, and it is a classic in domestic gardens, where its purple spikes dance with the wind, attracting bees. Caring for lavender at home requires understanding its wild nature. Like rosemary, it is a child of the sun. It needs direct light baths for at least 6 to 8 hours a day to thrive and produce its valuable essential oils. The biggest mistake made with it is over-pampering, especially with water. Lavender demands a very well-drained, almost stony or sandy soil, and you should only water it when the soil is deeply dry. If you have it in a pot, make sure the water flows freely and never pools at the bottom. The medicinal power of lavender is truly amazing, being the undisputed queen of aromatherapy. Its essential oil is one of the few that can be applied directly to the skin in small amounts, being an almost miraculous remedy to soothe minor burns, insect bites, and scratches, thanks to its healing and antibacterial properties. But its most famous use is to calm the nervous system. Preparing an infusion with its dried flowers, or simply placing a small sachet of lavender under your pillow, significantly reduces anxiety, lowers blood pressure and fights the most stubborn insomnia, inducing deep, restful sleep. Where is the best place to put it? Undoubtedly, near the windows of rooms destined for rest, provided they receive good sun. According to energetic traditions and feng shui, lavender is an agent of extreme purification. Having it in the home dissolves the energies of stress, irritability, and family conflicts. It acts as a vibrational filter, ensuring that the environment remains serene, balanced, and protected against negative outside influences. Our sixth botanical jewel is a true queen that you most likely already have in your kitchen: basil. Although we associate it intimately with Italian and Mediterranean gastronomy, its true origin takes us to ancient India. There, varieties like holy basil or tulsi are revered as divine incarnations and grown in temple courtyards. Finding basil is as easy as going to the nearest supermarket, although growing it from seed at home is a highly rewarding experience. Its vibrant, bright green leaves are a visual and olfactory spectacle. Caring for basil requires attention and affection, as it is a very expressive plant. It loves the heat and needs plenty of sunlight, preferably the soft morning light, protecting it from the scorching midday sun that can wither its leaves. Unlike the previous plants, basil loves water. You will notice immediately if it is thirsty because its leaves will droop dramatically, but will magically perk back up a couple of hours after a good watering. The golden secret to keeping it lush and full of life is constant pruning. As soon as you see it trying to flower, pinch off the tips. This prevents the plant from investing its energy into seeds and forces it to produce larger, aromatic leaves. Beyond pesto and sauces, basil is a formidable medicine. It is an exceptional digestive tonic. Chewing a couple of fresh leaves or drinking a basil infusion after eating prevents heaviness, relieves stomach spasms, and reduces intestinal inflammation. Furthermore, its powerful essential oils have antibacterial and antiviral properties. In traditional medicine, basil tea sweetened with a little honey is a classic and effective remedy to clear the airways during a cold, soothe a sore throat, and reduce a mild fever. The quintessential place for basil is the heart of the home, the kitchen. Place it near a well-lit window. On an energetic level, basil is considered one of the strongest prosperity magnets in the plant kingdom. Ancient traditions suggest that this plant has the ability to transmute negative energy into positive. Its fresh, spicy scent cleanses the environment of heavy vibrations. Keeping a healthy, leafy basil in the kitchen not only nourishes your physical body, but symbolically invites abundance, ensuring that food and good opportunities are never lacking in your home. To close our list, let's talk about a plant that instantly awakens the senses: mint. Its history intertwines with Greek mythology, where the nymph mint was transformed into this sweet and aromatic plant. Native to the Mediterranean region, mint has spread worldwide thanks to its unmistakable scent and incredible vitality. Finding it is very easy. It is sold in supermarkets, farmers' markets, and nurseries. Often, if you take a walk through areas with moist soil near rivers or ditches, you can find it growing wild, giving away its presence with its scent before you even see it. Caring for mint comes with a very important warning. It is an invasive plant. If you plant it directly into the soil of your garden, its underground roots, called rhizomes, will spread rapidly and take over the entire space, suffocating other plants. Therefore, the golden rule of mint is, it must always have its own pot. As for its needs, it is a plant that loves water. Unlike aloe or rosemary, mint needs its soil to be constantly moist, though not flooded. It prefers partial shade or filtered light, as direct summer sun can burn its delicate leaves and cause them to lose their freshness. The medicinal uses of mint are fast and effective. It is the king of digestive health. Chewing a couple of fresh leaves after a heavy meal or preparing an infusion with them instantly relieves bloating, gas, and stomach aches. But its power doesn't end in the stomach. The natural menthol it contains is a potent vasodilator. If you have a tension headache, you can take some fresh leaves, rub them between your fingers to release their oils, and gently massage your temples and the back of your neck. The cooling effect acts as a local anesthetic, clearing the mind immediately. Of course, during hot times, a few leaves in your pitcher of ice water and lemon will keep you hydrated and revitalized. Where should you locate your pot of mint? The most logical and beneficial place is your kitchen window, ideally an east-facing one where it receives soft morning sun. Having it in the kitchen makes it easy for daily use in drinks and meals. But from an energetic perspective, mint is the symbol of fluidity, prosperity, and vibrational cleansing. Its strong scent drives away not only insects, but also stagnant or heavy energy. Keeping a lush mint in the kitchen, which is the area of the house associated with nutrition and abundance, attracts dynamism, movement, and keeps your home's environment with a permanent feeling of freshness and renewal. As we have seen, we don't need to go far to find natural solutions for our physical, mental, and energetic well-being. Aloe, dandelion, rosemary, chamomile, lavender, basil, and mint are gifts from the earth that are within our reach, ready to be cared for and return the favor with health and vitality. Go ahead and adopt one of these plants in your home this week. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and let me know in the comments which of these wonderful plants you are going to invite into your house first. See you in the next video, and may nature fill your home with good energy.